obviously we don't have, you know, coordinating chairs in here, but
Yeah, no
give me
problem.
a couple minutes and
Yeah.
I will be right there.
Do you want the big one?
Yeah, it's over on you. Thanks. So, this is, DNA is a big deal, fingerprint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they take a little mouth swab, but no big deal.
Okay, cool.
And then Joel and her just got, I asked her, she said they've been taking, you know, an hour or a little over an hour, so kind of what I figured.
Okay.
But it's going to be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So I talked to your dad over there. He was good. He was asking about you. He said, yeah, she's doing good. She's holding on. So I'm so happy. He wants to get that close. Good.
The what?
Close look good.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
It's
Yeah.
really good. Awesome.
Yep.
So you're able to stay here tonight too, right? You don't have to drive back.
I think I'm gonna drive back to Albuquerque, but yeah.
Oh, good. Albuquerque, I mean, not all the way to...
Yeah, no, not all the way.
Yeah,
I'll be fine for
I was gonna
tonight.
be worried about that, because that's a long drive.
Oof.
Yeah.
4 hours in the dark? No, thank you.
No, that's not good, yeah.
Yeah, the place to stop off would be Flagstaff, too, and, like, Flagstaff, the deer just come at you.
Oh, I know.
Scary.
I've had that happen. I almost
Yeah.
hit one, yeah.
Definitely.
And I was just texting Ted, and he was cool. So he said everything was good. It was fine. How's the weather where you're at? Is it cool like this? Is it?
No, it's hotter.
It's hotter. It's
Like 80
Yeah.
degrees outside. It's gross.
Oh.
It's like not what you want during fall,
Mhm.
you know.
Montana was pretty cool.
Montana was cool.
Yeah.
I liked Montana.
Yeah.
I got a good thing going up there with film too right now. And I'm at least decently liked up there by people.
Shit.
Except for Stu.
Stu. Do you know this guy?
Do you want water?
I'll take a water.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah. My name's
Who? Lenny?
Zanoff.
Zanoff?
Let me confirm that name. Larry. Larry Zanoff.
That's not ringing any bells.
Okay, I need to ask your dad. He was on Django Unchained, and your dad was the quick draw.
Yeah.
But Seth was on that, and so was Larry Zanoff.
Yeah.
And I think Larry was the armor. And Larry has been commenting on this case quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask Bill, like, what do you know about Larry or what's going on? So
Oh, has Larry been saying bad things?
Yeah.
Oh, neat. Oh, neat.
No, if there was like a falling out.
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
Because Seth was on there too.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, what if that was the start of the problems?
Yeah.
And maybe it wasn't even related to you.
Yeah.
So I need to call Bill, because he started coming the day after Larry did, going to the papers.
Oh, Larry's going to the papers about me?
Kind of in general about the safety issues and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But, so I'm just going to call Bill after this and kind of see what...
Yeah. What's he commenting on? Like, where is he commenting?
There's a bunch of papers, I'm going to have to pull these for you.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of armorers right now are just talking absolute shit about things they don't even know about. Yeah, so it's really just the whole industry, just everyone that does this line of work is just commenting on when they don't know the story. Yeah, so I don't know. I wonder if he has something against my dad, but...
I'm wondering.
Yeah, my dad and a lot of people sometimes don't work together, especially if they do the same thing.
Oh, I get it, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I get it on a professional, but your dad's so laid back. He's so cool. I don't know why they would get into it.
Yeah, well, he's not laid back on set.
He's not, I get it. He's like, by the,
Yeah, I love my dad. I hate him on set.
Oh, I'm sure. He's like my dad when he wasn't his job. I can tell.
Yeah.
He'd be by the book.
Definitely. He's very much hardcore on set. Strong personality for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, still very nice to people. Like, not a jerk.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Super accommodating to actors and directors alike.
Yeah.
I'm usually not.
Well, you have to do your job.
Yeah. Yep.
How's your mom doing?
She's alright. She's just like so frustrated.
Yeah.
That she can't do anything for me.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, she's all like, these people don't know you, and I'm like, that's why they're saying all these mean things.
Yeah, Mom, that's tough for her too.
Yep. Especially because I'm the good kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have, like siblings?
You know, I actually just found out I have a half brother during this.
No way.
Yeah, no shit. Like literally
That's
4 days
crazy.
ago I found out I have a half brother.
That's crazy.
It was so weird, honestly. And then other than that I have Tyler.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we have the same one.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Thanks. Alright, let's do this. Yeah. Where's Alex at?
Sam?
I said, where's Alex at?
I'm Alex.
Oh, really? Wait. The other one was Sam?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, she was assisting, I'm actually primary on this. And
Okay, I totally had you guys mixed up.
That's okay.
I was kind of like out of it, so yeah.
Oh, I think everybody was a little bit that day.
Yeah.
So it's formality. She signed this the first night, okay? I'm gonna have you do it again tonight, just that way we're all in understanding. I know your attorney's here. This is your statement of rights, okay?
Okay. Oh, thank you. Do I check all of these?
Yeah, initial them for me.
Okay.
I like your necklace.
Thank you. It's actually a locket.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Okay. Oh, what's the date?
It is the 9th.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Crazy.
I don't even know what to do with this year anymore.
Yeah,
And if
I
you
know.
want to sign as one of the
Sure.
witnesses, and I'll sign as the other. She has fancy pens and all. Can leave some of those here, that way if anybody asks, we can just say,
Yeah.
there you go.
Everything.
All right, so let's just dive right into this. That way we can get you guys on your way, and we'll go from there. Do you have any questions for me before we start? Either of you?
No. How's your day?
They've been busy.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
How have you been since?
Busy and depressed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Mhm.
We've had more things with the living situation.
Yeah, a little bit.
That more than anything.
Not really. Just, a lot of press, a lot of hatred, a lot of kill yourselves,
People are horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like at the end of the day,
Yeah, I'm just trying my best.
that's
all
all you
I
can
can
do, really. I like the change in color of hair. Is that your natural?
That was what I got the most hate on, so I was like, It's just hair. I'll change it, guys. Yeah, so.
You wanna know something really totally off topic, but, when I was in high school, I was a hostess at Hooters, and they told me that I had to dye my hair brown or blonde.
Yeah.
Because red was a natural color hair.
That's so rude.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I was like,
Jeez.
no thank you.
About hair colors.
Yeah.
It's just temporary.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, I was like, red is my natural color. Like,
that's weird.
no thanks. But it was, you know, back then there was a whole different environment.
Yeah.
Only natural boobs too at Hooters, right?
Yeah, there you go. No. I mean,
Sorry.
to each their own.
Yeah, no, I
would say that Albuquerque's not really the market.
For real.
Good.
That's true.
You know, experience. I don't think there was anything else that I had. Are you still living in Arizona?
Yeah, I currently am, kind of like mostly leaving the state right now just because the press was getting nasty and everything, and it kind of dulled down after I left my house and everything. But yeah, other than that, just kind of came here and trying to stay out of the small town right now.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's hard to hide there from the press at least, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think everybody's having a hard time with that. It seems like the only person that's been able to avoid them mostly is Mr. Halls.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for real. Crazy.
which is interesting because I'm pretty sure he's local.
Yeah, he's local, I believe. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, Alec is getting bombarded every day too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully we can just, you know,
Get
proceed
past
with this
all of
and
that.
then,
Yeah.
like, it amazes me with the event that went on this past weekend, that is, like,
The
that's not-
Texas, yeah, that was
yeah,
terrible.
Astroworld?
Oh, it's
Oh,
terrible.
yeah.
I'm like, how is that whole thing not?
Blown up like
No.
this?
Yeah.
No. I guess not.
All right, Hannah, so let's start out. I'm going to kind of go over your experience again, okay? So can you tell me your years of experience as an armorer?
Okay, so pretty much mostly really started taking on this armor job in March with my dad. We did the movie Murder at Immigrant Gulch together. On the same team, I was his assistant. And then I did my own job as head armor on the Old Way after that. And then after that, I did this, you know. And before that, I had gone on a couple of things with my dad, mostly doing production assistant work, but also still kind of watching him and still kind of learning from him on the side.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I did Magnificent Seven like back in 2015, and we were out there for like 2 months, and I was learning a lot from him then too.
okay, so pretty much just assisting him
Yeah,
from 2015 until...
Yeah, pretty much. Just, and also, well, not like consistently either, because I was in college for a lot of that time.
Okay.
Yeah, so for a lot of before this, I was in college, so not really able to do the whole film set thing.
Okay. What did you go to college for?
I went to college for communications and film.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also took a lot of art classes too.
So how many productions now do you have under your belt?
3 Cinema, whatchamacallit, about 7.
7.
7, yeah, and then also I did a bunch in college, you know.
And then how many with you as head armor?
Head armor, just 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was
This,
the old-
Rust, and the Old Way, yeah.
Okay. How long did you spend on the Old Way?
We did that for a month and a week.
Oh, so it's like not that much time.
Not that much time.
And
No. But it was only me doing the guns on it, so it was me, 22 guns, doing all of the loading and everything myself.
Okay. Anything negative or anything happen on that set?
Nick Cage got a little pissy because he forgot to put in his earplugs.
Okay.
Yeah, and then other people were talking about the the random firings that apparently weren't called out or anything, but I called those out actually, and it really comes down to a miscommunication between, I told the AD who's supposed to spin the dials to the other channels and let them know that there's going to be live fire, and he didn't spin the dials.
So like radio communication?
Yeah, so our walkie-talkies and everything, yeah. Once I tell them that we're like going hot and everything, then he's supposed to spin the dials and let every different one know.
Okay.
So he forgot to do that twice on that.
But any, like misfires, accidental discharges, anything of the sort?
No accidental discharges and no misfires actually.
Okay. What about any official training that you've done?
Official training? Not really much official training.
So just...
I was planning on getting my concealed carry permit pretty soon, but haven't gotten there yet.
Okay. For what you do as an armorer, does this job require to use like specific tools when you're doing inspections on weapons?
So I don't really do the inspections on weapons too much. I'm not a gunsmith by any means, I get them from Seth, like, maintenance them and everything. I was cleaning a couple of them, and a couple of them did have some issues that I couldn't figure out, so I sent them back to Seth, and he sent them back to me, and they were okay.
Okay. So any type of, like, malfunction or anything that you came across would go?
Yeah.
And you're talking about Seth Kenny, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I sent back one of the guns because the hammer was pulled back, and it wouldn't release back down, and I don't know, he said something about I cleaned it wrong or something, I'm not sure, but I cleaned 17 other pistols that day, so I don't know how I did that one wrong.
Okay. Do you remember which one that was?
That was actually one of Miller's guns, and not related to the incident really, but Miller was one of the deputies, and just one of his, the hammer got stuck back, and I've never encountered that before, so went ahead and sent it back.
Okay. So as far as like the movie productions go, do they require you to have any certifications to work? And it can be like anything.
I'm not really sure entirely, just because most of the jobs I've gotten have just been like through word of mouth and everything, or like, Seth works on getting them for me, or my dad gets them for me, or my dad got me on as his assistant the first time, so I'm not really sure entirely what they are looking for. I know that they get a firearms license and everything, and a license for the area to shoot on and everything, but they usually get that. I don't even get that usually, so I'm not really sure in terms of what else. I know that Seth always tells me that I'm on his license to work with these weapons, and that's all I really know.
And that's kind of the same with Sarah, right?
Yeah. Not really sure what that's ever meant. Seth always just says Hannah and Sarah are on my license.
Okay. But as far as, like, you go, there's no
one really asks about much of that.
Like, you don't have to take safety classes in regards to anything with movie sets.
So that's the thing. I was actually just getting into the union, and with the union and everything, because on this set they hired me non-union. But normally with the unions, you take a safety course, you take a sexual harassment course, and you take a few different things. And I had, like, literally just gotten the paperwork and everything to get in that. And you need 30 union days on a union show before you can do that. And so I had 22 before this job. And so a lot of the days from this job were going to count towards that.
Okay.
But, yeah, so I wasn't even able to get that. But for other than that, like, the whole industry doesn't really require anything. It's mostly just California or union, and I wasn't union.
Okay. And so Rust wasn't like, like I obviously have to have a cert to be a cop.
Yeah, no, totally.
Take, like, every year I got to take, like, driving courses and shooting courses and everything like that.
Yeah, no, totally. Rust didn't really ask me anything about that. They kind of just conferred it all through Seth.
Okay. So I heard that you were hired to do a couple jobs on this set.
Yes.
Can you talk about or tell me about both of them?
Okay, so, like originally when I got on the set, you know, I have always done armor kind of really separate from props, like I'm always with props, but we do it ourselves, me and my dad, and props doesn't really interfere. This is the only job that I've taken where I was heavily incorporated into props, and it's because originally they had hired me for armor and key prop assistant. And that's not just like prop assistant, that's the key prop assistant. So that means more responsibility, that means I'm Sarah's second.
Okay.
In a lot of cases. So if there's an issue with props, you would go to Sarah, and then if there's an issue where Sarah isn't there, then it goes to me, and then we have our assistant, Nicole. So I had, my job is the armor, and originally I thought that I was mostly going to be doing my armor job and kind of left alone to do that, but after the first week, I got talked to by some people in production, and they were told that I wasn't really pulling my weight in props. So basically I was told that I needed to shift my focus less on armor and more onto props.
Who did they expect to take on the armor role if it wasn't your...
I don't know. They told me, they said, yeah, we hear that you're taking your armor job very seriously, but we need you to support props right now because props is also struggling. And I was like, okay, I'll try my best to do that. And they said, normally before that I would kind of just hang out in the prop truck and work on the guns and just kind of be in there doing my own stuff if there weren't any guns on set. But after that they had told me no, we want you on set, we want you as a present on set for props.
Okay.
Yeah, so was split up quite a bit.
Can you give me some examples of what you would do, when you were assisting props?
Okay, yeah. So, normally, I kind of, for the saloon scene, I would just kind of be standing there, watching over the guns and everything, checking them for the actors as I brought them into the actors. That's just my job as the armor. With the saloon and everything, I'm pouring drinks for props. I'm running outside and rolling cigarettes. I'm, doing several different things and grabbing several different props and setting props up constantly. And so, yeah, when some scenes aren't exactly super prop heavy and sometimes they're just kind of gun heavy, and so in that case I can, focus more on the guns, but sometimes I was split between running the guns and also dealing with the props. But Nicole, the assistant, tried to help alleviate that a little bit, but not every, she was pretty green, so had to step in a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Mostly I thought that I was there doing props at the beginning just to help find everything, because we got hired on a week before. Normally you hire the prop master a month in advance. Sarah got brought on a week before, I got brought on a little after her. And so we were just kind of running around that first week trying to find props. And then I thought after that, after she got the assistant, I'd be able to focus more on the guns. But then production talked to me and said that I needed to focus more on props. So.
Okay. And who from production?
Gabrielle Pickle, and also the head of the art department, Brian. Mostly, yeah, Sarah just said that I couldn't really support props in the way needed, so they were talking about possibly I was talking to them and I was like, well, do you not want me to do props at all in this case and just focus on the guns? And they were like, no, we don't want Nicole stepping up and taking your position. We want you to step into this position, and we think it's a great opportunity for you, but really I just got to do 2 jobs for less pay.
Yeah. How did you feel about that added responsibility?
It was a lot, but I'm super eager, and when someone kind of says, you can do this, then I'm just like, okay, now I have to show them, I can do this, you know? So ultimately, it was frustrating, but at the same time, I was like, all right, got to go and kick ass in props now, I guess, too.
Yeah. Did you ever have, any time that specifically pointed out to you where you felt overwhelmed by doing those?
Well, props, we were told a lot, that we were kind of lagging, and, the wranglers would kind of shit on us for not propping up horses soon enough, or, not getting actors propped up soon enough, so props was definitely struggling. And then after that talk I had with Brian, I went to Sarah and I was like, I'm not, like, pulling my weight, you know? And I tried to talk to her about it, and she was like, yeah, I didn't mean to, like, be a jerk about it. I just wanted to let them know that I needed more help in the department. And so we talked about it, and I was like, well, that's cool. Just maybe next time go ahead and talk to me first before going to Brian and Gabrielle.
Do you know why they didn't utilize Nicole more?
We definitely did utilize Nicole, but ultimately I have a very strong personality. And also, a lot of the times, like, my personality would even be stronger than Sarah's in a lot of respects. And a lot of people were already kind of gaining respect for me, like, in terms of, like, you know, the Wranglers and everything. And I'm just good at meshing with other departments, you know. So they wanted me on set more just to kind of, you know, be a presence of props and really, you know, kind of just be a demanding force.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever express to them at any point if you felt overwhelmed, or?
After that, you know, I thought we were doing pretty good of managing both. There were some days, you know, where I would talk to Sarah and I was like, she would be like, could you come out here and see what's going on with me? And I was like, no, dude, I need to, like, focus on guns and I need to pull guns for later on. And she would be like, well, you're the second. I think you should be here with me on set to watch this. And I was like, there's not a lot of props out there. I'm going to be here doing the guns.
Okay.
So there was a couple of times, but I also kind of really held my ground on not, you know, spreading myself too incredibly thin.
Or getting overran by others. Yeah, exactly.
Because you kind of just have to, you know. But ultimately with higher positions, sometimes you get ran over.
Okay. Who hired you for Rust?
I believe, I'm not really sure. Seth just texted me and he was like, you got the job, prop assistant, so-and-so. I sent him my resume and Sarah sent it in and I think Roe approved it. And yeah, so Sarah hired me, Roe approved it.
Okay. So it's not like a typical hiring process for a job where you have to go in and...
Yeah, no, there's no real interviews, like, any time in film. Film's a very weird industry.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth, by all means. I think it's so weird how, like, secretive it is almost, you know? Like, it's really hard to get on anything unless you know somebody. And if you stop working for a while, it's, like, almost hard to jump back in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really weird. You can't just, like, look up, like, film jobs in your area and then go and apply. That's not a thing. Yeah. I really wish it was kind of like that. That would probably, that'd be a lot better. But right now there's just such a media surge, especially, that, you know, they're just kind of getting on anyone that they can bring, really, because the media surge with all of these different, like, the networks and everything coming out with their own little internet things, it's making everything, like, boom right now, like crazy.
Yeah. I know you had talked about how you were in the process of becoming a union member.
Yeah.
With which union?
I was working on becoming a union member with the Local 44.
Okay.
That's the oldest and longest established union, and it's also the one that my dad's a part of, so...
Is that, like, international, or...?
I'm not really entirely sure. I know it's mostly California. You know, each union is kind of specific to the area. Yeah, I think that one is the most put together one, and it's definitely the most active one, which is why I was trying to be a part of it. And I had already actually started the, like, kind of OSHA safety one a little bit after this, actually, so I had already been starting that.
Okay.
Because I just got in, like, a little bit before that into the program.
Okay.
Mhm.
So as far as your employment on Rust, were you hired on a contract, or how?
I was
determined?
I was hired on a contract, yeah. You know, the contract wasn't really specific to the job per se. The contract was just like regular employee contract. Jason has a copy of it.
Okay. Is there any way I can get a copy?
Sure, yeah, I'll send that.
Yeah.
Besides you and Sarah and Nicole, were there any other armorers or prop masters or anybody brought onto the set at any time?
I don't believe so. Not anyone brought on the set. I don't really know if Seth ever came to set, but he was the mentor on the paperwork and everything, and he was like where we got most of our stuff from.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no one else ever worked with you guys? They didn't do like a late hire?
Oh, so they did bring in one girl for swing shift, but I don't even know if she ever made it to set or if she just met up with Sarah outside of set.
Okay.
But yeah, we had finally, week 2 was coming around and we told them like it's getting crazy busy. We can't have Sarah leaving set to go find these things, so they brought in a day player that could run around and go find things for us.
Okay.
Because before that, Sarah had to leave set a lot of the time. Oh, that also contributed to spreading us thin for a little while there. That's why they brought in the third person, because ultimately Sarah would have to leave set pretty much every day for several hours, and then it would just be me out there.
And what would Sarah go do at that time?
Sarah would go try to find props, because with them bringing her in a week, you know, it's hard to find like a weird Indian axe, you know, like there's a bunch of weird, obscure things for a period piece that are super hard to find. So she would go try to find them, meet up with other prop masters in the area and see if they had them.
Do you know who that fourth was?
You know, I think her name was Jade.
Jade?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was hoping for her to come more on set, but yeah, they just hired her as a day player every now and then.
Okay. Okay, so as far as, and I know some of this that we've talked about before, some of it might be a little bit redundant.
It's okay.
But just trying to cover all bases. So, again, who provides the ammo?
So as far as I'm concerned, me and Sarah, we went together and we picked up the ammunition and all the weapons and my leathers from Seth Kinney in Albuquerque at his shop. Yeah, we got 2 boxes of ammo, I'm pretty sure, that day. And then as we went on in the show, there were a couple of times that we needed more. So Sarah and I would text him, you know, that we needed more, and occasionally Sarah brought in more ammo from Seth.
Okay. Those 2 boxes that were originally supplied, were they blanks or dummies?
Originally supplied.
You said that you picked up 2 boxes of ammo.
Oh yeah, so I
Or
think there
you
were.
mean like boxes like the white boxes?
No, they were like bigger boxes.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, no, a lot of them were. There wasn't a lot of dummies in those really much at all. There were some dummies, you know, like obscure dummies that we couldn't really get, like the 50-70 rounds, you know. I don't know if you're familiar with those. Those are big rounds. They go in the trapdoor. So we had some of those dummies with it. But in terms of 45 long Colt dummies, I don't think there was a lot of dummies in there. And so I asked Seth about it, and I said, hey, like, where's all the long Colt dummies? Because the 45, you know, 45 ammo is, like, different than 45 long Colt. So we didn't exactly, I couldn't find that. So he told me to check the dummies that I had from the last show, because he got me those ones and everything. And so I went back through a bag that I had. This bag had like a bunch of loose dummies in it. And I went through and I checked all of them and I put them into 2 boxes. And so we had 2 boxes of 45 long Colt dummies that were mine from the last show.
So
originally.
Cage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had just brought those off of the old way, and they were in my car for like 2 weeks. I jumped right off of the old way into this. I was barely home for like a week. So, yeah.
But he told you to check your supplies.
Yeah.
And what you had to take it.
Yeah.
So he authorized you to bring.
He authorized me to bring, dummies.
Okay.
And then also there was one time where he didn't give us any eighth loads, and I had 1 box of eighth loads, and so I was like, I'm gonna use my box of eighth loads, put it on the invoice, and I would have received money for that.
For blanks.
For blanks, yeah. Eighth load blanks.
Okay. Did you ever get recompensated for this?
No, I don't really plan on it, given the circumstances, because usually that goes through Seth, and then Seth kicks me down with whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how many rounds, and 2 boxes is, you know, kind of hard for us to we're just trying to understand. So how many rounds would you say were supplied at the beginning?
You know, mind if I check my phone really quick? I think Seth, like, sent me a picture of, like, it written on cardboard or something.
Okay.
Or actually, if you look at the boxes, I think the boxes...
On the flap?
Yeah, on the flap should say it.
Okay.
Did you see that at all?
Yeah. I don't.
That's okay, that's what Seth showed me. So that same thing, that's what should have all been in there.
Okay. And so you and Sarah picked it up at the beginning of production.
Yeah.
From Albuquerque, brought it to set, and then...
Yeah, but we couldn't exactly bring it to set right away because they hadn't had the prop truck ready for us, so we had to leave it. You know, she has the guns in her car in Albuquerque. I have the ammo in my trunk at the hotel, and then we just took them to set the next day.
Okay, so it was less than... Like
overnight, yeah, just overnight.
Period. It was like multiple days that's
Multiple days of what?
I was just gonna say, for Sarah to keep all those in her vehicle in Albuquerque, that's a bold
well,
move.
Well, and it was only one night, and she had a garage.
Okay.
So that's why we ultimately, she was like, "Do you want them to go with you or me?" And I was like, "You have a garage, you know."
Albuquerque though.
Oh, oh, I know. I told her. Seth was all like, "Get those and get out," and I was like, "Hell yeah."
So when you guys brought additional rounds on the set, or additional boxes, or needed more, how did those get delivered?
Sarah brought them in most of the time. I never saw Seth after the first time that I saw him before the show.
Okay. So did Sarah, do you know if she went and picked them up from Albuquerque, or how did she get them?
She lived in Albuquerque, so most of the time she would just run and grab them.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure if she got any more from anyone else. I had heard that some of the dummies were borrowed from someone. I don't know. She said, "Don't lose any of these because we have to give them back." And I was like, okay, they fall out of the gun belt and everything, but I'll try not to lose them.
Okay. And then, how much did you supply of your own?
Of my own dummies?
Yeah.
Just the 2. And we mostly went through those right away, just because 2 boxes, 2 of the little boxes. Not like big boxes, just the little boxes. And yeah, I had 2 of those, and most of mine had the no primer caps, the ones that I showed you, remember?
Is it the ones that are like indented in?
Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of those were mine, and then also I had a multitude of the ones with holes and the ones you shake, so yeah. And I checked those all, and I put them into 2 things.
Okay.
Myself, yeah.
Do you remember what those boxes look like?
Yeah, I do. They usually say JS on them.
Okay.
This is one that my dad sent me. And mine are usually beat up pretty bad. Like, they're very dirty and gross, usually.
Okay. Do you know what the JS stands for in them?
Joe Swanson.
Okay. Have you met Joe?
I have not, but him and my dad are pretty good friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as far as ammo goes, who has access?
They stay in the truck. Like, you know, the only thing that's in the safe is the guns. So, yeah, pretty much, I don't know if they locked the prop truck at night or what happened with that, but yeah, so pretty much just me, Nicole, Sarah, and the first week we did share that prop truck with locations.
Okay.
But other than that, the prop truck, you know, would kind of be open most days just because we're running in and out of there, and sometimes, you know, ammo is underneath on our cart, just chilling there usually. Like on the floor of the
On
truck?
of the
cart.
Okay, on the second shelf.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I usually try to keep it down there.
So all the ammo is pretty much out in the open?
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, unless it wasn't, like, taken out directly of the boxes or anything, then yeah, the ones that are out there are out in the open. pretty much regularly.
Okay, and they never get locked up in a safe?
No.
Okay. Were all the guns provided by Seth?
Yes.
And who has access to the guns?
Sarah and I believe Nicole kind of knew the code, but I don't think she remembered it most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she ever remove the guns from the safe?
I had her put them away sometimes.
Okay.
Mostly just because I couldn't leave set.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does anybody watch her do that?
No, not really.
Is she allowed to?
Mostly somebody has to lock them up, and they shouldn't be on set, so, you know, Sarah or I would give her permission to go over there and just put them in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's something that you guys are allowed to do, is give someone else permission to lock
I would
them
think
up.
for a prop assistant, yeah.
Okay.
She only put them away ever.
So who all has the ability to lock the safe?
I mean, anyone that has arms, like, can close it, you know?
Is that you don't have to punch in the code again to lock it?
No.
So you turn the knob and it's done?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the truck? Who has the ability to lock the truck?
You know, none of us lock the truck ever. We figured that's kind of like Transco's job. We don't have locks for the trucks normally. I know some prop masters lock up their own trucks, but yeah, not really sure. We kind of just closed ours up every day.
Okay. Do you know?
I don't know if Transco ever locked it.
Okay. Do you know who was in charge of that truck?
Not specifically.
Okay.
I don't remember his name.
It was a male though.
Yeah.
Can you describe him?
He was a sweet old Hispanic man with a nice mustache.
Okay. Heavyset, midweight?
Midweight.
And he was the one primarily in charge of that truck?
Towards like the second week, yeah. Before that, we kind of just had random people moving it, and then eventually he got assigned to us pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the mornings when you got there, was it ever locked up?
No.
Okay. So you just walked in
and pulled the handle.
Okay. What about the back of it? I know it's got one of those big...
Yeah, that's what we normally did. Yeah, we just closed up the side and we would unlock the handle. We figured it was usually getting watched by security.
Do they just have security, and it's okay if you don't know, but do they just have security at that front gate there, or do they have...
I know that I've seen some security around other parts of set, like just in a car, but that was mostly after the incident and everything, and it was just a car near the church.
Okay.
So that's really all I know about the security measures.
All right. So you'd say, as far as ammo goes, it is common to have it outside of that safe?
Yeah, no, it's super common to have it outside of the safe.
Okay. Who loads the ammo into the guns?
Me and Sarah.
Okay, you both load them.
Yeah.
And who loads ammo into, like, the bandoliers, all the belts, and...
That's me and Sarah again. I think Nicole helped us a couple of times shaking them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she ever, like, actually load them, or did she just shake them and say they're good?
And she would shake them and put them into the belt with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how often, or should I say, when did you guys put the ammo in the bandoliers?
A lot of them already had it in there. So, from the last Nick Cage set and everything. So, still check those ones out and everything, but we, of course, had a couple more that we had to, like, switch around and everything. So, mostly the whole first week, we were switching them around. And then after that, we did have a couple more characters come in with different, you know, waist sizes, so we would have to, like, put them in other belts, too.
So some of these belts already had rounds in them?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember which ones?
No. They mostly got switched around a lot, and a lot of them fell out pretty regularly out of the
rounds in them?
Yeah.
Okay.
The dummy rounds would fall out sometimes just because when they're riding the horses, they jiggle out.
Okay.
So you regularly have to put more in them.
So since some of this ammo came from another production, was the ammo in those belts ever checked?
Yeah.
So you guys physically removed them from the belts
Yeah.
and checked them?
Yes.
Okay. And who all did the checking?
That was me. That was involved in the 2 boxes that I did.
At the beginning?
Yes.
All right. So when ammo's not being used, then does it ever go back in a box? Does it stay?
When ammo's not being used, if it's about to be used, it's there on the bottom of the cart. Like if we're gonna get into it later that day, we don't really have time to run back to the truck. So we usually keep it right there if we're shooting that day. If we're not shooting that day, it doesn't really come on set. I'll usually bring like maybe a box of quarter loads just in case they randomly decide that they want to shoot something, because they'll change their minds last minute, and then you have to be prepared for that.
Who's they?
Directors, actors, whoever just like feels like, maybe I should be shooting right now, kinda.
Okay. So when you go to unload the belts or the guns, anything of the sort, does it go back in a box?
The belts?
The
Like,
ammo?
we don't ever take, once the dummies are on the belt, they stay on the belt, and the belts just get hung in the prop truck.
Okay.
Like, yeah. And then, for the guns and everything, yeah, we take all the dummies out, if it's dummied up, and then, of course, we take the blanks out, too.
But where do they go?
They go back in a box.
Okay.
Or sometimes the dummies, they'll go on the cart, on the top of the cart.
Okay. So would you say that ammo's ever mixed?
The dummies and the blanks?
Or just, various kinds of dummies?
Well, various kinds of dummies, yeah. Like I told you, all dummies are kind of weird and individual in their own way, pretty much. So yeah, they were mixed pretty regularly.
Okay. So it's not like, I say, hey, I take these rounds out of here, and they have to go back in that specific box because these are...
No, they just go in a dummy box.
Okay.
In a box of dummies.
So our actors or crew members on set, are they advised to self-inspect weapons?
I'm not really sure. Well, most of the time when they tell me, like, I'll go up to them and I'm like, here, and I show them it's clear, they'll be like, it's okay, I trust you. I say, don't trust me, go ahead and always check for yourself.
Okay.
But,
yeah. Are they required to self-check?
No, not really.
Okay.
But I do show them every time before I hand them off to them.
All right.
Show them that the gun's clear.
Have you seen any of them do their own safety checks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Jensen does his own safety checks. Travis does his own safety checks. Travis Hamel. Devin was getting into doing his own safety checks because I taught him how to do it. So he was kind of getting better at that.
What would they do to do these checks?
Pull the hammer back to half cock, spin it around, and close it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not pulling it rounds out, checking them themselves?
No, not really.
Okay. Has it ever been common practice for actors to do?
I'm not really too sure.
What about on your last production? Did they ever do their own?
Nick Cage definitely did not. He barely really cared to train with the gun at all. A lot of actors sometimes will barely care to train with the gun at all and think that they'll just do it on the day. But yeah, no, not a lot of them take it out and check them.
Okay. When you or somebody gives a gun to an actor, do you tell them, like, hey, these are the rounds that are in this gun? Like, do you tell them it's hot or cold, and then what kind of ammo is in the gun?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Yeah. So
I tell them, all right, so this is a clear gun if there's no dummies in it, right? if it's dummied up, I show them and I say this is dummied up, and usually I have the dummies that have no primer cap in there. So I'll show them that. And then if it's hot, I'll tell them it's hot, and I'll tell them 4 1/4 loads or 4/8 loads or
whatever is in the gun.
Yeah,
okay.
And I let them know exactly how many is in there, and I put it exactly to where they'll shoot it and it'll go for that time.
Okay. Have you ever allowed access to anyone for any of these firearms?
No. Like for using them on set, or?
For any purpose that
well, I allow
outside of what their scope was.
No.
Like after hours, during lunch.
No.
You know, days that you guys weren't.
No, me, Nicole, and Sarah ate lunch together pretty regularly, pretty much every day, except for a couple of days where I would sit at another table or converse with some other people. But yeah, we all went to lunch together. We all locked them up every day at lunch, and we all locked them up every night. And I definitely didn't go to work on my weekends, because why would I do that, you know?
Right.
I want to be there as least as possible.
Same.
Yeah.
You get it.
Don't we all?
Yeah. So, yeah, last weekend I was in Denver the first weekend, actually. So, yeah, and then the other one I was just relaxing at my hotel.
Okay. Did you spend any time with anybody on the weekends?
Yeah, I spent some time with the nice boy at the front desk at my hotel. He was nice. I hung out with some crew members. We went bowling one time. And other than that, I didn't really hang out with people outside of set too much. And I kind of went and did my own thing in Denver the week before. We haven't really been there that long.
Okay. Did you go out, just crossing my mind, did you go out with the crew one night to, I think they said like some brewery?
Yeah, we went to the brewery downtown after bowling.
After bowling?
Yeah.
Okay, and that was on a day off though?
Yeah.
Did you have work the next day?
No, that was Monday. We worked, we had Monday, Tuesday off.
Okay. Do you remember which Monday it was?
It was the last Monday before the incident.
Okay.
So 20th was the incident, I believe, on Wednesday? 21st, so...
So the 11th?
The Monday...
Columbus Day is a holiday?
Or would that be the 18th?
No. Yeah, it would be the 18th.
Okay. So you were off that Monday and Tuesday?
Yes.
And then we're back a couple days.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you yourself, and not just on this set, but have you ever encountered a defective blank or...
A defective dummy?
Yeah.
So, you know, I've had a couple of blanks that haven't gone off, you know, but usually that's because the actor doesn't pull the hammer all the way back, and so it'll just be at half cock, and so